So my name is Kamora Harrington. I am the founder and visionary of Kamora's Cultural Corner, which we're going to talk a whole lot about. I'm excited about this because I love being able to talk about the work that I do. One thing that I've just recently realized is that I used to have a whole lot of articles and videos that I could go find that other people wrote and other people created that shared my views. And today I'm in a place where a whole lot of that content has to come from me because they are my views, they're my ideas. This is my philosophy that I'm finally able to share with the world. So I get to do this today with another powerful melanated woman. There's the term woman of color that when we're thinking about it from a political stance, that term is beautiful and wonderful and brings us together. But woman of color has kind of been used in the last couple of years to kind of dissipate some of our power. So I'll say that two powerful melanated women are going to get up here today and have a conversation that's going to take us wherever it's going to take us. And I'm excited about that. I love stepping into places with no idea where it's going to go, because if I've got no expectation on where it's going to go, the magic's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to some magic.
Thank you and welcome back to Lily Sin Barreras, Lily Without Barriers. Today I am honored. I'm always so blessed to have sisters and brothers who come and join me on my mission. But today I'm sitting with a woman who I know very little about. She's a powerhouse because I follow her. I'm a follower of hers on Facebook. I try to be at events where she's at, and I sit in the back and I learn every time. She sometimes makes me really, really angry because she makes me realize that I have not healed from some wounds. But today you get to meet Kamora. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be awesome. It's like, again, as you said, we cross each other, we're in space together, and you claimed that loud thing. And so just first off, for any brown, melanated woman out here, claim that. It's like, so they come up with all these things that are going to stifle us, but that whole loud thing, we police ourselves so much about that.
Ooh, I like
my
that
laugh
police.
is, we do, but my laugh is loud. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I remember once I was going in somewhere, and so before I even made it into the room, someone said something and I laughed. And I walked into the room and there was a, oh, Kamora, I knew it was you. I heard your laugh before you even showed up, right? And so there's that quick second, but there's that quick second of, oh no, like, what is that? Oh, that means that my voice carries something. So own it. But there's that weird place where when we're loud and we're melanated people. And so therefore the right way to be is here somehow. No, we are loud.
Do you all know why she's sitting right here, right now? Kamora, for those who don't know you, who are you in your definition?
I'm a ridiculous, glorious mess.
Ooh, I like that.
That's exactly who I am. And I am messy and I'm not polished. And I'm saying it that way because when I was 12 years old, I'm a Hartford person, so as I talk about people, they're all Hartford. They're going to be Hartford people. But Michael Scott, who is my age, and he's a drummer in Hartford, and he's an amazing human being. When we were kids, he gave me I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, that book, right?
Oof.
And so I read it.
At 12?
At 12.
Oof.
At 12. Oh, I had far too many books, far too young. That's where all this ridiculousness comes from.
Yeah.
But so I read this book, and then I've got to read all the rest of the books, right? And so Singing and Swinging and Getting Married Like Christmas and Getting Married Like Christmas, all these books. And I realized that this woman is sharing the fact that she got coerced into prostitution, sharing the fact that her family did a whole lot of illegal stuff that was a wonderful way to grow up, and all this stuff. And as I'm reading this, in my own family, my parents, we were supposed to be this model family, right? So my father was black.
Too?
Yeah, we were supposed to be perfect. So born in 1971, my father's a black professional, my mother's a white professional, so they're both doing the civil rights stuff. And so therefore my brothers and I, we're half black, half white, and our job is to prove to the world how wonderful this is, right? And how we are normal and just like everyone else. At that time, my parents are going through hell, and the divorce is coming. It takes a while for the divorce to happen, because we had many years that could have been the divorce year if we weren't showing everyone how great we are. And so as I'm reading these books, and I'm writing, I'm a writer, I love using words, I'm passionate about this, and I'm internalizing that I would never be able to write this book, because I would never be able to share my pain and my ugly with the world. Because how could I do that if I want people to respect me? And I grew through that and past
Wait a
that.
minute.
Yes.
That, as Lisa Nichols would say, that's a nugget in itself. Go back to that. How could I share
the ugliness of my life, of who I am, and still expect to be respected?
Ooh, okay.
Right?
T-shirts, okay.
And then I'm half black and half white. There's a whole lot of judgment that goes along with that. I'm supposed to have this perfect, wonderful family. There's a whole lot of what that's supposed to be. And I got pregnant when I was 17.
Oh my God, did you mess that up, right?
I ruined everything. I
was
proved
a
to the
young
world
mother.
that my parents couldn't do it. All of this stuff, at which point I realized I can either hide and pretend, or I can own this. And so, and we'll get to like the work that I'm doing now, but as people were telling me who I was and what that meant to be a teen mom, oh, no. You've got to be kidding, because that's your definition, that's not mine. And I got to a place of realizing they're going to put the judgment on it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So I might as well own it. And I'll own the ridiculousness of it. And one thing that's happened, I wish that social media had existed like it exists now when I was younger, because there was a time when the diction was exactly what it was supposed to be. Boy, could I white talk like any white person anywhere ever.
White talk.
White talk. Are you kidding? Yes. We can white talk. We can act right. We can suppose. We can think. We can ponder. We can do all
You
of
want
this.
to be eloquent?
We can be so eloquent. We can be articulate. But that articulation, doesn't matter how much articulation you've got, when you've got the melanin, they're going to hear something else. And I remember one time I was quoted in the newspaper, and I knew, because I don't remember exactly what it was, but I knew how I said it, and they black girled my quote. At which point I realized I might as well just black girl it up all the time anyway. If they're going to take me to that place, I'll go to that place. And one of the things I truly enjoy doing is I love doing presentations, I love doing workshops, I love bringing in information, and then having someone who is in front of me say, well, Kamora, you know what you just said? And they just know that I just made it up out of my black girl mind. That's actually in this piece of research. That's actually been in the study. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. Tell me more, because clearly I am just an ignorant black girl who has lived a life, and look at my Fannie Lou Hammer way of coming up with some information. So learning how to own it and capitalize on it, and then give it to my sisters. More than anything else, when I see that young professional 22-year-old brown girl, I do everything in my power to grab her and say, honey, you're always going to be a brown girl. That's just own it and use it, and let that be your superpower. Let that be your superpower. What is your superpower? Your melanated beauty and your loudness and the rest of it. Yeah.
So you're speaking to a Puerto Rican woman, and a lot of people will say, well, I'm a Latina, I'm a this, and I feel very comfortable with saying, yo soy Boricua, I'm Puerto Rican. And I join many circles, and I'm really happy about that. But one of the things that's most important to me when I share space with powerhouses like you, and I don't have a problem with saying you're a powerhouse, is that you rattle the cage. And I don't realize I'm in a cage until you start rattling. And so I see postings and I go, oh Lord, oh man, I'm not done with this issue. This morning, just this morning, you posted about celebrating Christopher Columbus. And I was like, oh my God, I remember when I pulled my daughter out of this school play because she was part of this. And I was really offended. And I was like, espérate, how does she know about that? Espérate, what's she doing? How does she know about that? Again, I didn't even realize I had a cage. You rattle. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the cage again. Because I'm not done with this. I didn't break the cage. I just, made a little window or door or whatever it is you do with a cage and came out. But the cage was still there. So you rattle my cage. Okay? Congratulations. Yes. That's not easy to do.
I rattle my cage daily.
Do you?
Just so you know, I'm rattling my cage. That's the thing. It's the second that you know you've got it, it's over. The second that you realize that, oh, I'm enlightened and I've gotten this, you're done. There's no more work. When you know it all, you can't do any more work. And I've been blessed, we can say blessed, with this place where, for whatever reason, the creator, I'm a joke. And it's a whole lot of fun. And so in my mind, there are times when I just know that, so whatever those spirit guides are, whatever's happening out there in the universe, they're just sitting back like, look at Kamora. She's feeling good about herself right now. Pow! Here's a new one.
Got a challenger.
Yeah, challenger. So Christopher Columbus, you bring it up. I believe that what separates us as melanated people are our boat stops. That we are amazing and we are one.
Okay, you got to slow down because
Yes.
I want to make sure that our brothers and sisters who are listening to us get all of that because that's juicy. You know, that's like almost sabroso
Yes.
where I come from.
I don't know what that means.
Delicious.
Okay, good.
You got to learn that one.
I'm trying.
Sabroso. So go back to
Cállate
that.
la boca. I know that. I'm good at that.
On
I've
my
heard that one
own
many, many
set,
times.
On my
That's
own
what I got.
set. This is what I'm talking about. Shut up, she said. On my own
No, I'm
set.
saying that I learned that one because it comes
you
at me a
just say
lot.
shut up?
I said, cállate la boca. Yes, I did.
Later.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just later.
Yeah.
Go back to that a little bit. You rattle your own cage. Yes. Okay. And I also said to you a few minutes ago, we were talking to my pops, and you were talking to my pops, my real papa, like my real papa. And I said, you know, I believe in the God thing, and you said, so do I. Assumption on my part that you didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
That you used the word universe. So my apologies, sister.
Yeah.
Correct me. Thank you. So Kamora is hot stuff. Everybody knows that. Even you know that. I
Yeah, I
like
got
that
that.
about you.
Yeah.
I like that about you. What is Kamora all about? Because I was at the Women's March and I heard you speak and I was blessed because I was right there and I could really hear your words and you were unapologetic about your message. Who is Kamora?
Kamora has been blessed with this outsider view since day one. So
You've always been an outcast?
I've always been an outcast. Always, always, always.
I was feeling unique.
Yep. Nope. It's that wonderful place. So as I said, Dad was black, Mom was white, born in 1971. There weren't others like us. So I had this wonderful place of, and again, my parents, the NCCJ back when it was the National Conference of Christians and Jews, they were deeply involved in all of this. So my early formative years were with all these beautiful, high-minded folks who were coming from the very best intentions, who had these wonderful bodies of work behind them, who had this idea truly that this biracial America was going to end racism and all of this other good nonsense, right? And so as a young person, I got to listen to black people talk about who we were. I got to listen to white people talk about who we were and realize none of them had a real idea of who we actually were going to be because none of them had a foundation what our us was. And so I came up in that place realizing that the only person who was going to be able to share my reality was me. That I couldn't sit back and expect anyone else to be able to articulate what I was living in because no one else knew what we were living in, okay?
So it's your story. You got to own it. It's your journey. You got to own it. And sometimes you don't have the need to explain it.
And you've got to build it. And you've got to build it. You've got to build it. So the tragic mulatto, if you've never heard that term, there's the whole idea of this tragic mulatto that somehow if you are black and white, if you're mixed, then you don't know where you fit. And there are all these romantic ideas of how lost and confused we are. And I can tell you that my truth about me is white people are full of crap. They've got no clue. You saw I just censored myself for your show beautifully, right? But white people are full of crap. They've got no idea what's really going on. Black folks are full of crap. They've got no idea what's really going on. They've got a wonderful view and a wonderful idea, but that's what it is. My people have a different view and a different idea, and we are completely right, except we're completely wrong. So that piece of me.
So none of us have it.
None of us have it. We need each other. We totally need each other. So my identity development, up until my 30s, I knew that if you were from Hartford, you're a little bit black, a little bit white, a little bit Puerto Rican, a little bit straight, a little bit gay, just because that was what my reality was, and that was what was around me all the time. And that place of identity development, I look like this. I'm from Hartford. When the black folks knew that I wasn't them, and the white folks knew that I wasn't them, and I
tried to claim you.
Oh, y'all claimed me. But I jumped into it. And that's the interesting thing because
My camera guy does. So did I.
we all figure out how to do it. But it's that, what do I look like? So because I look like this, and then, you know, I was a boring kid who read all the time, so I understood that there's this Taino thing, right? So there's this Indian thing happening. And then it's Ottoman. So you've got all these Africans who came, and then you had these Spaniards who came. So Puerto Ricans really are. So I remember telling my father one day, Dad, if I died and an anthropologist found my body, he would think I was Puerto Rican because da 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 da. But it was this crawling through different identities and figuring out what fit, what didn't fit, and that weird place of affinity is wonderful, but claiming it is wrong.
I think y'all should be taking notes, because I'm going to take notes once this is edited, or maybe before it is, so I can get the raw that everybody else is getting. We have 3 minutes, and we're doing 2 segments, because I locked you into that. So right after this one, we'll get a break and we'll do another segment. Kamora, I want to invite you to educate us about how we support one another, and everything is not for free. You have taken on a project in the city of Hartford that is incredible. You and I have spoken about, you terrify me sometimes because, again, you rattle the cage. And other times you motivate me, and it sometimes happens at the same time. You have taken on a huge project. You've taken a vision, if I may, into action. It's a verb now. It's an ongoing verb. So you left an agency, and you found your own home.
Yes. I found a home, and I'm building from what it started. So this voice, and I would say that what I think the most important thing about my voice is it creates a place where people who can't do this all the time know that there's a place to come do it. And so Kamora's Cultural Corner, the joke was, I live on a corner, okay? So I live here in Hartford on a corner. My house is on a corner, and I've got this back porch. And I would go off to community meetings, and folks would come to our agency and have meetings. They're the interns, there's just people who I know, and we'd be in meetings, right? And in the meetings, everyone knows how to act, okay? Everyone knows the right words to say. Everyone knows how to say the right words. Everyone knows that the person in front has just said something that's not true, but we're all going to go,
That would have been my choice, yeah.
And so after these meetings, and I'm in the meeting, not going, just saying, you really said that? Really? So knowing this, and this, and this. Actually, I remember one meeting. There was a meeting down at City Hall years ago, and I kind of wondered why I was in this meeting, because I'm sitting at this table with all of them, right? And it's the thems and the feds. And we're talking about violence in our city, and it's maybe April. It's like March or April, and we're talking about violence in the city. And no one is talking about what's about to happen. So I'm like, excuse me, but it's April in Hartford, and we're getting ready to go into killing season. At which point the room went, and someone went, okay, I might not have said it like that, but now that Kamora said it, and so it was this ridiculous person said this ridiculous thing that was able to bring truth into the room, so we can, rather than just talking in this euphemism, we can talk about the violence that's about to hit our city. And then afterwards, someone said, hey, I'm really happy you said that today. I said, come on over to my house. And then the next day they came and sat on the back porch. So sitting at Kamora's Cultural Corner created a place where this is what you say in the nonprofit world. This is what you say when you're at the table, because, and we can talk about finding spaces, whatever. If you figured out how to have a seat at the table, this is what you say at the table, but this is what's really happening. So come to Kamora's, come sit on my back porch. We'll talk about how ridiculous it is. And then you can either figure out how to sit in it and not allow it to tear at your soul, or how to step back into it and push a little bit.
I have to wrap up this segment.
Yes, you do.
All right, and so Facebook, stay with us. In a few minutes, she will come right back and put it up live with you. I think I've fallen in love with you, right?
Yes, we've been there for a minute.
And we're gonna come right back. Damn,
It's fun work. It's ridiculous.
you don't need me.
Yeah, I do.
Just let the camera
Yes,
run.
I do.